All children have big dreams. Will they rocket through space as an astronaut, or be an artist whose work is in a museum? PNC Grow Up Grade is a $500 million bilingual initiative that includes free, high-quality early education resources for educators and caregivers. We champion early childhood education so that all kids from birth to age 5 can chase their dreams. PNC Grow Up Grade, helping to grow young minds since 2004. Copyright 2021 with PNC Financial Services Group and all rights reserved. Hello, Mary's favorite, Mrs. Floss here to spill the cocoa on how to get gifts for fa-la-la-la-la. Just for the wrong. Hello. So, I haven't been live in a hot minute. It's like a mixture of my mental health has been shit, and I've been busy, and my sleep schedule has been fucked. So I am drinking, as I do on my lives, and I am not entirely sure how many of these videos I have covered. Hello, Armpit. It says which ones I've seen, but some of them, if I finish all the video, it doesn't always tell me. I'm gonna take a shot. Give me a sec. Okay, I need a hit. So usually my lives are pretty planned. This one is not, just because I wanted to go live and I didn't really think too heavily into it. So I'm just going to do what I normally do and go over some stupid Fundie creationist shit. But usually I have a few videos picked out, and I decided I just have a folder of stupid videos. So we're going to do that. Oh, it says it's lagging. Is it working for everyone? It says that it's, that my connection is poor. So is this working okay for everyone? I am not sure, if that's accurate or not. I don't know. I'll fix it if anyone's having issues with it. Sometimes it says that and it's fine, and sometimes it's fucked up. So if anyone is having connection issues or it's lagging, let me know and I'll fuck around with OBS. Cause I don't know. I don't know if I need to like close some stuff. Like if my laptop is, I have Sims open and it's crashing. So maybe it's that. That's fair. I don't think shifting is real either, but if you have fun with it, it's not hurting anything. Like, I don't really get it, but it's not one of those things that I don't get that I think is hurting anyone, so have fun. I hope it works for you. No lagging? Okay, that's good. The little warning went away, so I think it should be fine now. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe in shifting, but if you have fun with it, go for it. Just, I don't know if there's, I think it's like lucid dreaming from what I understand. So just, assuming it is like lucid dreaming, just do some research on it and shit. But that's cool. Have fun with it. Okay, so I usually do more professional people like Ken Ham and Ray Comfort and shit, but it looks like most of the saved videos I have are actually from YouTubers. So I guess we're gonna stick with that. This looks interesting, but that's like 40 minutes long, and I don't know if I have the motivation to do that. So I think we're gonna go with this Mrs. Midwest video. I have not seen the Mrs. Midwest videos, at least not recently. Yes, it is Jack Stauber. My Spotify ran out. I love Jack Stauber, but my Spotify ran out of payment, and I do not want to pay for it. So I asked it to play Mother Mother, and now it's just playing a bunch of random stuff, but I like Jack Stauber, so we're vibing with it. Okay, so we're going to go with this one. I have not seen this. This may not be that bad, but it is Mrs. Midwest, so I'm not hopeful that it is decent. Ugh.
Okay, so here's my
ads, go away.
Why is that it is weak to be feminine, and that is not true. In fact, when you step into...
Okay, it's been 6 seconds, but I just want to start out with, she always starts her video with something that's socially acceptable and positive like that, and then it always goes downhill, so...
Femininity as a woman, that is...
Alexa, turn it down.
Peace and the vibrancy in your life, because then you can turn out and nurture and love on the ones around you.
Bro, I have this stuffed animal. I've had it for like a few years, and it's like my favorite stuffed animal. I like literally bring it with me places like a 7-year-old, and I slept on it weird, and now its head is like a weird shape, and I'm just like, poor baby. Okay, sorry, that was random.
Alright everybody, hello.
I was just picking it up and I was like, his poor head.
And I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. If this is your first time visiting, we are all giving you a very warm welcome. And of course, the we I'm referring to is the feminine.
Phone guy, I have added you as a moderator because I know you're a mod on my TikTok lives. And I did not realize you were not a mod on here, so you are now modded. Don't feel pressure to, like, do anything mod-y, because I usually only get, like, 10 people on my lives, but I thought I would mod you. So, you are now modded here as well.
Family. I want to give a special thank you to all the members of the feminine family. Thank you for your continual support, and let's dive into today's topic. Today's topic is a little bit more serious, as we will be
Criminal Minds is a good show. I enjoy that show. I know, he's so sad. His name is just Cat. He had a name. My friend named him, and I forgot what it was. So he does not. It was a weird name, and I liked it, and I'll have to ask him. It was my friend Anthony. I'll have to ask Anthony what he named him, because I forgot. I think I was drunk when he named him. But for now, his name is just Cat. You have to do, like, any mod stuff, though. I know that you're a mod on my TikTok live, so I thought I would mod you, and on my server. You can be a mod, too. I don't mind. Here, go for it. Give me a sec. Let me there we go. Plus, occasionally, I'll get some people on here who like to argue with me about my actual videos. So feel welcome to. Don't perma-mute anyone unless I ask you to. You can do, like, cooldown things where you would temporarily mute them. So if you need to mute someone, just do a temporary mute at first, and then if they continue, you can, Oh, it's Nate! I was like, who is that? Hello, Nate. Yes, of course you can be a mod. You know my modding rules, because I've known you for, like, forever, so you know my modding rules. Can I, like, nickname you for myself so that I know who, because you can do that in TikTok lives. No, I can't. Okay. Okay, cool. I'll try and remember that that's you. Here, give me a sec. Okay, let's go back to the video. Wait, Nate, do you remember what Anthony named my black and white jelly cat stuffed animal? I think you were there whenever he named it, because it was on an Instagram live. Do you remember what Anthony named my black and white jelly cat stuffed animal? It was like a weird Norse name because he's the way he is.
Covering the 10 lies that society is telling young women. We're going to be talking about these lies out of a place of love for our young feminine sisters in our family, not out of a place of hatred or cruelty. The truth can sometimes be a little bit painful, but I would rather know the truth and have all the information I needed to live a thriving and successful life than just have people nodding their approval at me and telling me.
Okay, she likes to ramble, so I'm gonna speed her up a bit. I don't know, she just rambles a lot. Like, I feel like her videos aren't very well scripted, so we're gonna speed her up a bit. You don't remember? Okay, neither do I. I just remember it was a weird Norse name and I liked it, and now I don't remember it. It was a long time ago.
I thought the first lie I want to debunk is the lie regarding our femininity. Society tries to shame young women for their femininity. Innate femininity is looked down upon as weakness because instead of elevating truly feminine women, society seeks out masculinity in women and then elevates those women.
See, I don't think that what she's saying at the beginning of these videos is usually a problem. She starts out pretty moderate, but they always get worse because she hasn't started the list yet. I don't necessarily disagree with that, although she is putting down more masculine women a bit. I do think that it's kind of become a thing that being a almost stereotypically feminine woman has become a little bit looked down upon, and I do think that's wrong, but like she feels the need to put down less traditional women whenever she goes into things like that. And I'm like, you can say being a traditional-esque woman who's like a stay-at-home mom and shit is a positive thing. You can say that because that's not wrong, but you don't need to put down other people in the process.
Lie is that it is weak to be feminine, and that is not true. In fact, when you step into your femininity...
I mean, I don't think anyone shames people for being feminine, but at least on TikTok it has become a bit of a thing to be like, oh, if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't get a job and stuff, you suck. But it's really not that. I don't even think it's enough of a problem to make a video about it. Like, it's a little bit like rolls eyes, but like that's really it. I shame feminine. Kanan, it's been a long time. I just finished oh my god, I fucking love Kill la Kill. Oh, Eggnog just did a big yawn and stretch. That was cute. Who's your favorite character? Nonan is my wife. I love Nonan. Nonan's the pink-haired girl, the musician. I love Nonan, and she is my wife, and I will die for her.
femininity as a woman, that is when you regain a sense of peace and vibrancy in your life, because then you can turn out and nurture and love on the ones around you. Now, I do think all women
you can do that without being feminine. You can be nurturing and loving as a woman without being feminine, but okay.
A spectrum of femininity, but instead of encouraging women to sort that out for themselves, society has been pushing women to embrace masculinity.
Bro, that's what you're doing, but in the opposite direction. You and your whole religion.
I don't think we need to force people. So my channel isn't about forcing women to be feminine. I don't care to
It really is, but go off.
control people. I don't care to do that. But I do intend on my channel to
Oh, Egg is so cute. Egg is baby.
their femininity. Take time to further develop it if you so desire.
See, she always says that in her videos, but the thing is, maybe she's not forcing you, but she guilts people. She guilts people. So, like, yeah, you're not technically forcing them, but you're guilting them. My aunt is a stay-at-home mom because my uncle makes so much money she doesn't need to work. Yeah, that's kind of how my mom is. Well, my mom works at an animal shelter. I guess she technically does work, but it's not like a job. But yeah, like for most of my life, my mom has been off and on being a stay-at-home mom. She's a veterinarian, so she's gone off and on between working and not working just because my dad is a doctor and owns part of a company. And she really just works because she enjoys it. She doesn't really work because she needs the money. And, like, of course, there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. Like I said, my mom has been a stay-at-home mom off and on for most of my life. But, like, no one's really shaming anyone for being a stay-at-home mom. Sure, people may encourage women to get careers and stuff, but there's also nothing wrong with that. Like, encouraging women to pursue what they want to pursue is not pushing masculine. And also, having a career isn't masculine. She always acts like having a career is masculine. And I'm like, it's really not. People could be the most feminine woman ever and go into STEM. Like, it's not... Your occupation isn't anything to do with the masculinity or femininity unless you're like a drag queen or something.
Time to explore it. Instead of hiding femininity from women and saying, oh, don't worry about that, that's just weakness, go be masculine. I think that we need to let people explore their options. And the fact is, you have the option to be feminine. Alright, the second lie that society tells young women has to do with their careers.
Yep, I knew that was coming.
Is that a career is right for some women. You know, back in the 1950s, like everyone likes to reference, sure, there were women who wished they weren't at home, but nowadays, we don't live in the 1950s. I cannot remind you all of that enough. We are actually closer to 2050 than 1950. It's been a long time, and a lot has changed. Now, more women are in careers and wish they could be at home, at least part-time.
No one is really doing that, and the only reason that women who wish they could be at home and can't, I know, it's giving me the lag warning. The only reason that happens is because of our economy. The women who wish that they could be at home but need to work are usually single mothers. Like, that's an issue with the economy, not an issue of social things. Like, how about you support... Like, this chick is very conservative. I can guarantee you she doesn't support paying more taxes and shit. So, like, how about instead of saying because of society shaming them for it, it's because they can't afford to... It's because the government, like, because there's a reason that, like, millennials and Gen Z need to work even whenever they want to be stay-at-home moms or they want to go to college or whatever. And it's because y'all, I mean, well, not really her, she's a millennial, but y'all, like, not her, but, like, that area is, like, making the economy fucked to where people who do want to be stay-at-home moms can't because they can afford it. It's not a social thing, it's an economic thing. Like, basically no one is shaming you for being a stay-at-home mom. In fact, most people acknowledge it's a hard job. The issue is the economy. The issue is people can't afford to be stay-at-home moms because they need households where either both parents work or it's a single mom who needs to work. Like, no one's shaming you. It's money. It's that they want to be able to provide for their family and have their kids have a stable house and a stable education and food on the table. It's okay. Welcome back. I was just saying, she's saying that so many women want to be stay-at-home moms and can't, and it's because of society, and I'm like, it's not because of stigma, it's because they can't afford to. So how about instead of complaining about it and blaming it on society, you support welfare, and you support free healthcare, and you support, like, helping poor people. Like, how about we do that instead of pretending like it's some social stigma?
We're like, break your boundaries, be unique. And the fact is, it's not unique. Men and women work in 2019. It's not groundbreaking. It's not crazy. And the fact, too, is that very few people actually have a career. Most people just have a job. I'm not
That's not really true.
knocking the concept of jobs, careers, making money. You work to make money. It's not this glamorous thing that everyone makes it.
Well, it depends on the person. Some people work to make money, and some people work because they enjoy it. So many people have underpaying jobs because they enjoy the job. Like, what about people who go to fucking art school? She's technically in her 3rd year of art school, but she's taken so many classes that she's getting credits to hopefully graduate this year. I'm not entirely sure where she's at with that, but she may or may not graduate in her 3rd year. But, like, she has to pay for part of her tuition because her dad doesn't want her to go into arts. Like, she's probably not going to make a ton of money as her job, but she enjoys it, so she does it. It depends on the person. Sure, a lot of people just work to make money, people in office jobs and sorry, hiccup, shit. But a lot of people also work because they enjoy it and get underpaid, but they enjoy the job, so they do it. God, sorry. Drunk hiccups. Your tooth hurts? I'm sorry. I relate. I have a dentist appointment on Monday because while I was on vacation, a crown on my tooth came off while I was eating Swedish fish, so now I have like an undersized, shaved down tooth, and I can't chew on that side at all because it could damage the tooth. I felt you, except it doesn't hurt. It's just, I can't chew on that side because it could damage the tooth. But I felt you. Please go to the dentist. Dentists suck. I have to be sedated like a dog, like surgery level sedated, because I don't do well at dentists. But yeah, please go to the dentist if you can afford it or get support for it, because tooth hurty is not a good health thing.
Out to be. Oh, like the 3rd lie of society tells young women to not consider their fertility window. The common argument is that women,
oh my god, not everyone wants to have fucking kids.
Aren't just here to make babies. And you know, while I understand that sentiment, I would also say that that's a very sad.
Nate, that is awesome, and honestly, I'm not even surprised, because, like, after knowing you for a while, you are extremely smart, and I'm like, I wish I had that, man. I mean, I'm in school for forensic pathology, but I did not get reached out to by colleges. I started at a community college and then went to UT, so... Yeah, the tooth thing. I think I mentioned it on a TikTok live. I was on vacation too. This was like a week and a half ago. We had to make like an emergency dentist appointment, and this is the soonest they could get me in, and it's been like a week and a half. But yeah, I don't even have trauma with dentists or anything. I have a phobia of people touching me. So I can't do dentists. And also I do have trauma with people putting things in my mouth, so I don't like dentists. But yeah, last time I went to the dentist, I was fully sedated, like with an IV and shit, and it was just a checkup. I can't do dentists. With doctor's appointments, I can handle the minimal touching and stuff. If I take like my emergency medicine, which is a benzo, like I can handle doctor's appointments where they have to touch me, but like with dentists, the entire thing is them putting things in your mouth, so I just have to be sedated like a dog. Yeah, what's up, Hart? Are you saying Kanan like you're asking me a question? What's up?
Pressing way to look at the concept of motherhood. Instead of elevating motherhood, society tends to treat it like you're some sort of livestock just creating babies. You know the myth?
No, they don't. A lot of people respect mothers, especially because of, again, the economy where it's hard to raise a child monetarily. I don't think anyone really shames mothers unless they're taking poor care of their children.
Magazines, the online publications, I could pull tons of headlines right now telling people to wait to have children. They don't like this.
Yeah, wait to have children until you can financially afford it. It's good to wait to have children. You wait until you can financially support your children. There's nothing wrong with that.
Science behind the fact that a woman is fertile between her first period, it starts to go down when she's 25 and it goes down again at 30 and again at 35, okay? So your fertility will go down as...
It doesn't matter. Plus adoption is a thing. Wait to have children until you can afford to have children. No matter how you get the children, whether it's naturally or in vitro or adoption or whatever, have children when you can afford to have children and you're comfortable having children, whether that's at 20 or 40. It doesn't matter. Wait to have children. It doesn't fucking matter. Why is she saying that? Don't have children young if you're not comfortable having children young. Sure, there's nothing wrong with having children at like in your early 20s, but there's also nothing wrong with having children at any age. As long as you're not like 80 and you're gonna die before they turn 10, like just have children when you're ready. And again, if you're not fertile whenever you're comfortable having children, then adopt. Alrighty, well, thank you, Dave. Have a good night. Have fun with your cousins. I hope you can. I have to bring I bring a stuffed animal to the doctor with me all the time. I had a doctor's appointment with my rheumatologist the other day so that I could get my handicap parking because it expired. I had to go to my rheumatologist, and I brought said stuffed animal that I was asking you about earlier. I've been seeing that rheumatologist for years. She knows I bring it. But, yeah, I had to go to the rheumatologist, like, 2 or 3 weeks ago to renew my handicap parking, and I was like, because you have to, whenever you get handicap parking, basically what you have to do is there's, like, paper, and you have to have 2 different doctors sign it and then get it notarized. So I had to have my rheumatologist and my cardiologist sign it, because I have it for both my heart condition and my fibromyalgia and CRPS. So I was going to go to my pain doctor to get him to sign it, because that would make more sense, because the main reason I have it is for the neurology shit. It's not so much with my heart condition, but it does affect it. So, but yeah, thankfully, my rheumatologist just mailed it to my cardiologist to sign it. But, oh, Eggnog just did a loaf. But yeah, I brought a stuffed animal to my rheumatologist, but I've been seeing her for like 4 years, so she was like not even fazed by it. Hello, what's up? Okay, we're gonna go back to the video. Sorry, I got on a tangent. But yeah, I always bring stuffed animals or at least fidgets or something to the doctor because she didn't have to touch me because it was just signing paperwork, but I do not like people touching me.
And the thing is, I don't think people like to talk about it because they don't want to scare people, they don't want people to feel bad if they miss the window. But the thing is, we can't let that fear and that sadness prevent us from teaching future generations the reality of their biology, okay? So
everyone knows that fertility declines as you get older. And again, you can have children in a way that isn't natural. You can do in vitro or you can adopt. You don't need to have children naturally. You can have children however the fuck you want to have children. And not everyone wants to... Oh, okay, so they're not really called tricks. They're called tasks. At the moment, Price is pretty much fully PA trained, which is like public access, so he's not disruptive in public. His only PA issue is that whenever we go out to eat, if I drop food, he has a hard time resisting it, but he's pretty good at it if I remind him. But currently, the only task he knows is heart rate alert, which is for my heart condition. It does help with anxiety, but it's mostly the heart condition because my anxiety gets my heart rate up to about 100 to 120, and my heart condition gets it up to almost 200. For reference, resting heart rate is around 75. Like a healthy heart rate is around 75. So he does heart rate alert, which is where if it's low, he'll nudge me, and if it gets really, really high, he'll basically put his paws up on my chest. The task is generally called takedown, just because he's like, bruh, sit the fuck down before you pass out. So at the moment, that's his only task. He does know counterbalance, which is sort of like a backwards crutch, but he's not fully grown, so he knows the task, but until he's fully grown, I can't use it. Which is essentially a backwards crutch. You pull up on them instead of pushing down so it doesn't hurt their back. It's not like something that you use all the time. It's something like my leg feels like it's going to collapse. I need to lean on you for a minute. It's not something that you use in place of a crutch. It's kind of like an emergency. My leg feels like it's going to collapse kind of thing. Because my leg has neurology issues and it gets really weak sometimes. So he knows counterbalance, but I can't use it until he's fully grown, until he's about 1.5 years. And he's just under 10 months. He'll be 10 months in about a week. So he knows counterbalance, but I can't use it yet, and he knows the heart rate alert. Technically, he is a fully trained service dog because they have to know at least one task and be public access trained, but he's not fully trained in the sense that he doesn't know everything he's going to. Legally, he's a service dog and not a service dog in training, but in terms of his actual training, he is not a fully trained service dog. But yeah, he knows heart rate alert and he knows counterbalance, which I can't use yet. Oh my god, so, okay, I'm sorry, I keep going on tangents. We went to Colorado. My dad got a vacation house in Colorado. We don't have very much furniture in it yet. He bought it about 6 months ago. No, not 6, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago. And this was his first vacation he took with us. We drove there, so we didn't have to deal with the plane, thankfully. Just because we needed to have cars there. My dad's actually buying a new car to keep there, just because it's a second house. Well, he's debating if he's buying a new car or leaving one of our cars there. But anyway, we took Price on vacation, and I really don't bring him out in public without my mom, or without the trainer, just because he's still in training, and we need to make sure that he knows what he's supposed to do. And even though I'm there for the training, he does boarding. Also, who wants to see a cute picture of Price? Let me see if I can pull up my Instagram. But I don't remember his username. I'm drunk. Yeah, there it is. He has an Instagram, by the way, if you want to go check it out. Here's a picture of him in Colorado. He's in my parents' bedroom. Look at him being an absolute baby. But yeah, so whenever we went to Colorado, whenever I'm at home, I have sort of my own apartment. It's like a garage apartment above my parents' house, but it's not connected, so they can't get in unless they have a key. They occasionally knock, and we can't basically get in and out of it separately. So it's basically an apartment above their house. So he stays downstairs with my parents in the main house because of his training, and also just because we're not fully trusting of him around the rabbits yet. He hasn't shown any aggression or even play aggression to them, but it's just like I don't feel comfortable with him sleeping in the same room with the rabbit, and I don't want to crate them both at night. I hate your dad because he has money. Fucking same, because he has money and he won't even pay for it. I pay for my food, I pay for my car insurance, I pay for my phone plan, and I pay every single thing but rent. So I pay for my phone plan, I pay for my car insurance, I paid for my car itself, I pay for basically every single thing an adult would except my internet because I'm in their house. And it's really fucking annoying that I pay for my own fucking food. Like, they let me starve if I can't afford food. Like yesterday we went to a movie, and I've been having really bad money troubles lately just because my mental health has been so bad. I haven't been going to work. And I couldn't afford food, and my mom was like, do you want to go to a movie with us? And it's a movie theater that has food, and I bought like so much fucking food just because I don't have food at home. But anyway, so he is in my mom's room. In Colorado. He's a big boy now. He's almost 70 pounds. We think that he's going to get around 80 to 85 pounds because his mom was around 80 pounds and his dad was just under 90 pounds. But yeah, so this was his first time going out in public and without the trainer. And we took him to this restaurant. I think it's called something Craig's, and he was such a good boy. Usually we only take him out in public with the trainer just because that's, he's not fully trained yet. But he does this thing where he goes to boarding. He goes to boarding about once a month for a week to 2 weeks, because since he's not a program trained dog, he does work with a program trainer. So this trainer trains program dogs, but she'll also take him once a month for a week to 2 weeks. It's not fully 2 weeks. It's usually a week to a week, a little over a week and a half. But she takes him, like, he's going to the trainer, I think, on Monday or Tuesday again. I always miss him so much whenever he goes on the trainer. Like, I know he needs to, and he always comes back somehow even better behaved than he was before. We crated my dog, but she keeps... Yeah, so Price sometimes sleeps crated. We want to get him used to the crate. He's never really liked the crate, even since he was born. He's been crate trained. He's crate trained, but he doesn't like the crate. So he sleeps about 50-50 in the crate. But the thing is, even if I crated Price and not Eggnog and he slept in my room, Eggnog would not be super comfortable, because although Price has never shown any aggression to the bunnies, Eggnog is a very nervous creature. Oh my god, every time I say his name, his little ear perks up. But yeah, he's a really nervous little bun. So like, even if Price was crated overnight or in another room or something, Egg would be really on edge. So Price doesn't really sleep in my room just because, it's not even that I don't trust him with the bunny, because again, he's never shown any aggression towards Egg or Holly. He's the most in fact, he kind of just ignores them. So Holly stays with my parents, which, like I said, is completely disconnected from my room just because Holly and Egg don't get along. And so Holly has his own room, but he has a door. He has like a little doggy door basically in his room, so he can come out into the main house whenever he wants. It's only locked at night. And whenever Holly is out and about in the house or Holly is in his room, he's never really had any issues with Price. In fact, I have a really cute picture of them touching noses. I think my mom sent it to me. So Price and Holly, Holly is like the chillest rabbit ever. They don't really acknowledge each other. They just kind of vibe. But Holly is a very down-to-earth, chill rabbit. Egg is... Oh, he tilted his ear again when I said his name. He's very chill with me, but he's very nervous around anyone else, including animals. So although I don't think there's really any world where Price would even play a hurt Egg, it's still like... it's more of an issue of I'm scared that Egg will be on edge or Egg will get scared than it is that Price will actually hurt him. So Price sleeps downstairs with my parents, but he's kind of 50-50 crated. He's also partially crated because our senior dog, who's like my family dog since I was a kid, he likes to steal my family dog Levi's bed. So part of the reason he's created is because Levi has a really expensive, fancy custom bed with his name on it, and Price likes it, and Levi is very protective of this bed. So Price is usually created at night, but not always. But whenever I fully move out, Price is obviously going to come with me, and I'm just going to keep the door shut between the main house and keep Price in my bedroom, because he is going to learn a nightmare alert. A nightmare alert is basically he acknowledges the body language whenever I'm having a PTSD dream, and he'll wake me up. Basically, he'll do deep pressure therapy, which is a task that he's still learning. He's pretty good at it, but I wouldn't say he knows it fully, which is basically where they lay in a certain position on you in vein of a weighted blanket. And so basically he's going to learn a nightmare alert, because although I do take medication for my PTSD nightmares, it's medication. It's not fully... although it works very well for me, it can cause, like, if I do have one, it can ruin the day, even the week. I'll wake up and I'll have a flashback and shit. So it's like, he's learning nightmare alerts, basically by me faking having a nightmare at night, or me faking having a nightmare and him alerting me. So he will know that, and whenever I move out, he'll sleep in my room, and the bunnies will sleep in the main portion of the apartment. But at the moment, since he doesn't fully know the nightmare alert, and since the bun isn't fully comfortable with it, we're just kind of working on it. Okay, sorry, I got super tangent there. We're going to go back to the video.
If you're a young woman and you're planning on having babies after 35, after you've done your career, please reconsider that. There is a huge possibility you might not be very fertile at that age. It can also be very expensive for families, and instead of using that amazing career money...
Or maybe you should wait to have kids until you're financially stable, just a thought.
For a trip to Europe or a new house, you're going to be using it on IVF treatments and...
A new house is okay. You should have a house that's acceptable to raise kids in. Sure, like, if... I don't mean that as in, like, if someone is extremely poor and has kids, that it's not acceptable to have those kids. Oh, Egg just did a big yawn. Like, if you're poor and you can't afford it and you have kids in an extremely small apartment, or even if you're homeless, that respect to you for taking as good of those care of kids as you can. But if you want to wait until you can have a house, like she mentioned, you're giving your kid a better childhood. Do that. Do that. Give your kid a better childhood. If you want to wait, and if you want to spend more on in vitro or adoption, do it. Do what you need to do to give your kid the best life. That's what my parents did. My parents had kids kind of late. My parents had kids around 30. I think my mom was 27, 28, and, you know, I'm bad at math. They were both in their late 20s. My dad's a year older than my mom. And I'm just like, I'm glad that my parents waited, because both my parents grew up in extreme poverty. I'm glad my parents waited, because if they hadn't waited, my early childhood would have been in extreme poverty, and then I would have gone to, like, so my dad grew up in an extremely poor, tiny city in Missouri, and my mom grew up on a Cherokee Reserve. And if you know anything about that, everything is overpriced, and it's extremely hard to live on. So, like, if my parents had had me at the time that she wanted, like early 20s, I would have had most of my childhood in extreme poverty. But I'm glad my parents waited until they both finished college, where my dad was a doctor, my mom was a veterinarian. Like, I already had a hard childhood. I would have had an even worse childhood had I been born at the age that she wants to. So, like, wait until you're comfortable and financially stable to have kids if that's what you want. There's nothing wrong with that.
Adoption. And while I do think the modern medicine is an incredible, wonderful thing, I don't think that should be your plan A. So if you want a biological...
It's not your business if it's their plan A.
...family of your own, please consider your fertility window. Not encouraging teen pregnancies. I believe pregnancy is best left within marriage, as I am a Christian. But I don't think that...
Have a kid whenever you want to have a kid. Whenever you feel comfortable having a kid, have a kid. So many single moms, or even single dads, will adopt kids before they're married. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Have kids when you want to and when you're comfortable to. If you want to have kids and you're a single mom, adopt a kid. Even fucking, like, get in vitro or something. Like, if you want to have kids and you're a single mom and you're comfortable doing that, fucking go for it. It doesn't matter if you're married or not.
it's right to tell young women to constantly delay marriage and babies. You can delay a career. I don't mean to scare you. I just want to give you the truth and the reality. The thing is, yes,
you can delay a career. That's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that either. But just do what you want when you're fucking comfortable with it.
we all know women who tried to get pregnant young, and they weren't able to. Everyone.
So I've got my essay written, and I've been working on it for about a week.
She does not deserve ads. I wish I could get ad block on this browser.
And I'm going to click through Grammarly suggestions in the...
Yeah, like, if you want to have kids early, fucking go for it. Have kids whenever you're comfortable, as long as you're not a child. But, like, the reason that people are delaying having kids is because of the economy. And you, if you want to, should delay having kids because you want to give a kid that best life. Again, I am not criticizing people who are in poverty or are younger and have kids, because that is not my business. But people who delay having kids because they want to give that kid the best life is fine. Again, like my parents. I'm trying to think. Alexa, what's 52 minus 21? Okay, actually, so my mom, I just had Amazon Demon do the math. My mom was 31 whenever I was born, which is actually pretty old to have kids. I mean, for her generation, it's really not, because most of the parents, the kids I'm friends with, are just barely younger than her. But my mom was 31 when she had me, which is younger than this lady once. My mom was 31 when she had me. She said that fertility delays at 25. My mom was pretty old when she had me, and that's fine, because had I been born earlier, again, I would have been born into poverty. And while I would still love my parents and I would still respect my parents had I been born into poverty, because again, my mom grew up on a reserve and my dad grew up in a tiny town in Missouri, like, both my parents were born into extreme poverty. My grandpa was a farmer on a tiny farm. My grandma grew up adopted by a Mormon family that was homeless at one point. On my dad's side. My mom's mom and my mom's dad are Cherokee. They grew up in a reserve. And mind you, things cost $10+ more than they would in a normal area in a reserve, because the government fucking hates Native people. Like, I would have been in poverty to the point where I could barely afford food. My dad got soda as a treat on his birthday whenever he was a kid. Like, he got soda as a treat. It was because it was too expensive. And I'm like, I would have been if I was born at the age she wanted, I would have been about 30 now, right? And I would have had the first 10 to like 13, because both my parents are doctors. Both my parents have PhDs. I'm lucky that I got that, and I am so grateful. As much as my parents and I have issues, I am so grateful that my parents waited to have me, and that they didn't have me at the age she wanted, and that they had me in their 30s. I'm growing up in a less than comfortable household. We keep warmish, but we're always a little late. Yeah, exactly. Like, you've told me that, and I'm sorry that you have to go through that, and that's exactly what she's promoting. She's promoting the things that you vented to me to. Also, Nate, I'm sorry I haven't answered Instagram DMs very much. My mental health has been bad. Also, my Discord got deleted. I'm not sure if you have my Discord, but I will DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you my Discord, because my Discord got banned. So, if you want, I don't really answer Instagram DMs, so if you want, I'll try and remember, send me your Discord if you have one. But yeah, like, I know multiple people, including you, who grew up in families that weren't ideal, like, money-wise, and it's like, I'm so grateful that I was born 10 years later than she would want me to. Like, people waited, and mind you, my parents are both Gen X. Like, my parents were ahead of their time having kids later until they could afford it. And I'm like, you know, as much as, again, I don't really love my parents. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love them, but I don't love them in the sense that I don't love the way they raised me and the way they're treating me right now. But that being said, one thing, as much as I dislike my parents, that I will always respect is that they waited until they were financially stable to have me.
The aunt's friend who got pregnant at 45 with a perfect baby, you know, fine. Those anecdotal stories exist, but we need to look at the statistics.
Those anecdotal stories are me, and while anecdotes are not helpful in science, anecdotes are helpful in social issues, and this is a social issue. I am that anecdote. I am the anecdote where my parents had me older, and I have a much better life than I would have if they were younger.
And the science, it is a set period of time when you can have biological children.
Yeah, exactly, Nate. Thank you. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm happy that your parents support you being trans and stuff, but, like, it is scary being born in a family that's poor. My best friend, Crystal, one of her parents was an illegal immigrant. Well, not my best friend, my, like, second best friend. No offense, Crystal, if you're watching this. Sophie's my best friend. But, like, one of her parents was an illegal immigrant and got citizenship when she was, like, 3 or 4. And her other, like, she lives in a nice area now. Her parents are, I grew up with her. Like, she lives in a great area now, but whenever she was little, her parents didn't have a lot of money, and her dad went into technology, and thankfully they're pretty well off now. But whenever she was really little, they weren't. And I'm like, I love Chris. Like, Chris is, like, one of my best friends. And it's like, you know, I'm so glad that now she lives in a helpful environment where, albeit her dad is a little rough, but I'm not going to share her personal shit, but I understand why her dad is the way he is. But, like, I know people who grew up whenever they were little, in poverty, and it's like, it's not ideal. And, like, don't get me wrong, even if someone doesn't grow up in poverty and they want to wait till they're older to have kids, if someone grew up in a super rich family and they want to wait till they're 40 to have kids, that's their right. It's their body and it's their life. Plus, adoption and in vitro exist.
And I encourage you, if that's what you want out of life, to plan it into your life. You don't need to be obsessed with it. You don't need to settle.
Alrighty, good night, Jason. Thank you for joining.
For any guy, or be crazy, or trick someone into getting you pregnant. But you can plan for it by dating, by looking for marriageable men, by planning your life around family instead of family around your life. Alright.
Both of those are fine. It's your life. It's not her business.
The fourth lie that society tells young women is that marriage is a disaster. Society likes to paint marriage as...
No one says that. People talk about the divorce rate, but that's only in the sense that you should wait until you're ready to get married.
Something inevitably for divorce, but I would also say many of us have experiences being parents, loved ones, etc., divorcing or having discussing how marriage is. And what I want to say to this lie is that you can break the cycle.
Fun fact, every friend that I've had in my entire life since elementary school, which is a large variety of friends, although I'm only friends with 3 of them still, everyone from elementary school till graduation, everyone but 2 of them, Crystal, who I mentioned, and Sophie, who I mentioned, both of them, they're the only 2 friends I have with parents that are still together. So, although divorce is hard, that's what people need to do for their life. Sorry, I am drunk. That's what people need to do for their life if that's what they need to do. There's nothing wrong with divorce. Divorce is doing what's best for both people.
But I do really feel like there's propaganda to stop people from getting married, you know, where it's a delay it and keep delaying it. You know, you have the concept of you don't want to miss out on your 20s.
Delaying it is fine.
By being married. And so it's like, okay, like, I agree. I don't think everyone has the same life plan. I don't think all women are going to thrive with the same plan. But I got married in my early 20s. I know a lot of people...
See, that's fine. Me and my ex-fiance, who broke up for reasons that I don't want to go into, we had planned to get married in our early 20s. In fact, we were engaged. We didn't have proper engagement rings, but we were engaged. And we wanted to wait until we were 21 to get married because we wanted alcohol at our wedding. That was the whole reason. We got engaged almost at 19, almost 20. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can wait to get married as long as you want. And sure, 21 is pretty early to get married, actually. But for us, it was still waiting. It was still waiting for us, even if it was early still. And we wanted to wait because we wanted to have fancy wine at our wedding. Like that, even if it's a stupid reason to you, it's still fine. Get married when you find someone you love and want to get married. And it's also fine to wait to get married because you want to have a nice wedding like we did.
People that did, and there's a lot of happiness. So marriage is not this horrible disaster if you, first of all, choose the right partner. And second of all, if you are...
It doesn't take everyone fast to choose the right partner. Not everyone, not me, but like I thought, finds their partner in high school or early college.
Both working at it. I do think
and not everyone wants to get married.
Have an element of God in them through the Christian faith. Psychologists have...
Yeah, we both are atheists and wanted to get married with no Christian thing. Again, this is different because we never got married and we broke up, but we were engaged for like a year. Neither of us wanted any Christian shit at our marriage. His mom isn't Christian. His mom was somewhat pagan. His mom was like a gentle pagan. She was Wicca, but she was gentle Wicca. She didn't really do a lot about it, but his mom was Wicca. His stepdad was not religious. Neither of my parents are religious. We didn't want a religious wedding. He grew up with Wicca, And I grew up with no religion. Neither of us wanted a Christian religion, or wanted a Christian wedding.
Have done studies on this, and the fact is that the divorce rate is the same if you marry before 20 or after 30. So the ideal time to get married is your 20s. I highly encourage...
No! Get married when you want to and when you find the right person and when you can afford the wedding you want.
You to remember that you are 50% of your marriage. You have a lot of say in the success of your marriage because you
There's nothing wrong with divorce.
choose, first of all, who you marry, but you, second of all, have the power to make it good. This is why that society tells
You don't fully have the power to make it good because you can have an abusive partner, or you can even just have a partner that you don't fully get along with. You can change your mind.
young women has to do with casual hookups, drugs, and alcohol. Now, it kind of feels like society wants
As someone who does casual hookups, drugs, and alcohol because of my BPD, I'm ready to go off at this.
young women to be really, like, grown up and responsible and individualistic in those areas, but at the same time, they look at you and say you're too young to own a house or be married or to be a mother.
No one says that. Maybe too young to be a mother, but that's like teenage shit. No one says you're too young to do any of those things unless you're a teenager.
Which is ridiculous, because that just treats young women like they're going to be in this perpetual state of pleasure seeking. Like,
She is such making straw mans. No one says that unless you're a teenager, and she mentioned earlier that she does agree that a teenager is too early. So no one says that unless you're a teenager, and she admitted she agrees a teenager is too young.
there's a lot of propaganda pushing pleasure-seeking, hedonistic behaviors on young women.
There's nothing wrong with that as long as you're safe. Sure, doing heroin is wrong, but if you want to smoke weed or get drunk or do hookups, as long as you're safe, it's fine. Like, as long as you use protection and shit, like, it's fine.
I don't think that it's worthwhile to spend your life pursuing momentary pleasure. And that's why my channel really is about...
There is nothing wrong with that. If you are safe with hookups, as long as you use protection or you know the person, whatever, like, it's fine. Use protection and hookups are fine. Don't manipulate people. Don't trick them into thinking you're going to have a relationship. But as long as you're safe and respectful, hookups are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, be safe and have a hookup if you want to. There's nothing wrong with it.
Traditional living, because traditional living and wholesome living and faith-filled living harkens back to a time when we would grow up. We wouldn't stay children.
It's not grown up to have a hookup. If you want to have a hookup,
Pleasure seeking. If you cannot let go of your younger years, ask yourself,
it's not younger years to have hookups. Older people have hookups too. People in their 40s and even people in their 80s have hookups. There's nothing fucking wrong with it.
why? You know, why can't you grow into the responsibility of eventually getting married, having your own family, being a mom?
It's not necessarily responsible to be married. It's responsible. You know what's responsibility? Respecting yourself, respecting your own autonomy, respecting your own decisions, and taking care of yourself. Responsibility is taking care of yourself. That's all it is, taking care of yourself. Whether you take care of yourself by getting government assistance, whether you take care of yourself by doing what's best for you. If you want to have a hookup, and as long as you're safe, you use protection, and you trust the person you're having a hookup with, it's fine. Again, as long as you're not even if you're a teenager, if you want to be a teenager and go hook up with someone at school, as long as you're fucking safe, who fucking cares? Hookups are not irresponsible unless you make them irresponsible. They are not inherently irresponsible. What's irresponsible is not using protection, but in and of itself, hookups are not irresponsible. You make it irresponsible. What makes hookups irresponsible is not using protection. And beyond that, if you are comfortable with what you're doing and you are safe with what you're doing, hookups are not irresponsible. It is your own choice, and it is your choice to turn down a hookup that you don't want, and it's your choice to use protection. That's what makes it responsible. It has nothing to do with hookups.
Mother, cooking, cleaning, you know, being a grown woman. You know, I don't think that those pleasure-seeking behaviors...
You don't need to do that. What about stay-at-home husbands? Stay-at-home dads are a thing. I've never had a stay-at-home dad, but stay-at-home dads are a thing. In fact, one of my best friends in elementary school, he was adopted by a gay couple whenever we were in about 3rd grade. He was one of my best friends, and basically throughout the entirety of elementary school, he was adopted by 2 gay dads. And mind you, they owned a restaurant. I always got free dessert at that restaurant. It was a vibe. We don't really talk anymore. I follow him on Instagram, but that's about it. What about them? He was adopted by 2 gay dads, and they both owned the restaurant. They worked at it together. And whenever he was adopted, He came to school, right? This isn't about the end of 4th grade. He came to school. The first person he talked to was me, and he cried because his brother was adopted too. They adopted both him and his brother, and that's pretty old to be adopted as a 10-year-old. He was adopted at 10 with his brother, who was 8 or 9 at the time. And the first thing he did was come to school and literally cry to me that he was adopted. And he was more happy than I have ever. I was friends with him through until I moved schools in middle school in 7th grade. His name was Tristan. I don't remember his brother's name, but he was so happy whenever he was adopted, and both of his parents were working parents. It's not about that. It's not about that. He was insanely happy, and that's the happiest I've ever seen him. And both of his parents were working parents.
Years are the end-all be-all for the joy you can experience in life. There's so many different types of joy that you can experience. And yes, there is that manic, drug-infested, alcohol-infused happiness, I guess you could say, euphoria that you experience. But then there is satisfying peace that won't leave you hung over the next morning. There's this satisfying joy.
As long as you don't do hard drugs and you're safe, like weed or shrooms or something, as long as you're safe and you make sure that the person you're getting it from does not have anything that has other drugs in it, like, it's fine.
Of working hard in life towards positive outcomes, towards relationships, towards your talents, hobbies, and intellectual growth. I think women are so much more than vessels for that.
So it's intellectual growth until you go to college.
Euphoric, hedonistic lifestyle where it's just, party. And when we as women collectively avoid the responsibility
Hello, Mark.
When we collectively hedonism and momentary pleasure.
It's not heathenism to take care of yourself and do what makes you happy.
Who's raising the children? Who's creating the next generation? Why don't we want to be involved in that responsibility?
You don't need children to be happy.
Are we too young for it, or are we just too immature? Alright, the 6th lie society has been telling young women is that being at home sucks. And I debunked this in my 5 myths about.
No one's saying being at home sucks. It's saying the economy doesn't allow women to be stay-at-home moms. It's the economy does not allow women who want to be stay-at-home moms.
About being a housewife, homemaker, but being at home is amazing. It allows you to grow on an individual level because you can explore new hobbies, you can bless your husband, you can learn the art of being frugal, and you can prepare for being...
See, those things in and of itself, the way she words them, are bad. But being a stay-at-home mom isn't bad, and I don't really think anyone shames being a stay-at-home mom. Again, it's the economy. It's the fact that families can't afford anymore to have a one working parent household. No one really shames stay-at-home moms. It's the fact that they can't afford financially to be stay-at-home moms.
A mother. And I don't think everyone needs to be at home, that's not what I'm saying. But I do think that the propaganda that being a housewife is akin to being in jail is ridiculous.
There is no propaganda for that. You're straw manning. Hello, I can't pronounce your username. I'm going to say Edric because I can't read the first part of your username because I'm too drunk. Takayuki. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But yeah, we're talking about this chick who's basically saying who's advocating for being a stay-at-home mom, which is fine, but is saying that people are discriminating against it whenever they're not. It's just not financially viable for a lot of people.
That's not true, and I don't think that we need to tell young women that. I think instead of doing that to people, we just need to give them the option of doing what they want. So instead of shaming people to not be...
Then stop complaining about taxes. Support welfare, support free healthcare.
Housewives, why don't we just say, hey, you can both have a career or you can be a homemaker, and both things are...
It's not really an option to just be a homemaker for a lot of people because, again, money.
Honorable, because we truly support all women, and that's what I'm about on this channel. The reality of supporting all women means supporting all women. I don't know where that got mixed up in translation, but I think...
No one doesn't support housewives. No one says that. I've never seen anyone say that being a housewife is a bad thing. It's the issue of they can't afford it.
All women includes homemakers.
Yeah, no one's saying it doesn't.
Being at home doesn't suck, and if anyone ever told you that, it's not true. Being at home has been the best blessing.
Well, no one's told anyone that, so...
outside of salvation that I have ever received. Alright, the 7th lie that society tells young women. First of all, I think this is a twofold lie, but over here we have the camp of don't care about your beauty, destroy your beauty. Beauty is a social construct. And then you have the lie over here where it's like, you need to do CrossFit and the bikini bodyguard if you ever want an attractive man. And both of those things are ridiculous. I think we need to be in the...
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think that's a fair point. Causing people who say disregard your health and be morbidly obese are bad, and people who say you have to be skinny and do CrossFit are bad. I can't disagree with that so far, but I feel like she's going to make it bad.
The middle and say goodbye to both toxic, destructive mentality. And any message that is encouraging your immaturity or your destruction is a message that doesn't care about you. In the middle of that, we have...
I don't like that she's calling that destruction, though. I don't think being overweight is destruction. I do think being obese is destruction, but saying don't care about how other people see you and do what makes you happy isn't destruction. And she's obviously not talking about the people who are promoting being obese. If you're overweight and you don't want to wear makeup and you don't want to wear what clothes make people attracted to you, that's fine. Do whatever the fuck you want with your body.
A place where we as women can learn to take responsibility for growing self-discipline in the area of health.
And then again, even if you are morbidly obese, it's still not anyone else's place to tell you not to be other than a doctor. So even if someone is saying, even if someone is morbidly obese, it's still not your place to comment on it. Let people do what makes them happy and leave the health to their doctor.
We can also celebrate our unique beauty, the unique ways our muscles are made, unique ways our feminine bodies store fat, the unique ways that God has made us. Hear lies from society telling you to not care at all or to be obsessed. Please know that that's ridiculous and wrong, and instead of taking either of those camps, we need to stand in the middle by celebrating our unique beauty, not comparing ourselves to others, by being grateful for the way we're made, and adopting the elements of self-discipline that will allow us to have true health and vibrancy. Because the most...
See, okay, so far I can't disagree with that one. I can't disagree with that one. Wear and dress and eat whatever the fuck you want. So far this is going okay at this point. Do what makes you happy. If you want to be overweight and do whatever, that's fine. Eat what you want, wear what you want, dress how you want, wear what makeup or what makeup you don't want to wear. I can't disagree with that one so far. Do what makes you comfortable with your body. No one should shame you for your body, whether you're 700 pounds or 70 pounds.
Most beautiful people are the healthiest. Healthy people come
disagree. Okay, she ruined it. Healthy is not an option for everyone. For me, healthy is not an option because I'm chronically ill. She ruined it. Healthy is not an option for everyone. Sometimes people, again, who are 700 pounds have health issues. For example, I have a family friend named Delphi. I love Delphi to pieces, but she is extremely overweight. And that's not her fault because she has health issues that cause that for her. I'm never going to judge Delphi and say you're not healthy, so you're not beautiful. Because she can't help it. She's seen countless doctors. She's even gotten surgeries and shit. Like, she can't help it. It's a genetic issue for her. She has genetic health issues. It's not about self-discipline for her. It's about being able to afford a doctor. Mind you, she is a doctor. She works with my dad. But she loves herself and I love her and people care about her. And because she's overweight, it doesn't mean she's any less valuable. It's not about self-discipline.
Variety of shapes and sizes. Health is more than just eating burpees and eating grilled chicken. Health is a lifestyle that can be well-rounded and different for various people, but it includes...
Health is not an option for everyone. Health is not an option for me. I'm severely disabled physically. And mind you, I'm not overweight or anything, but for some people, for me, being disabled doesn't mean being overweight, but for some people it does.
Water intake, sleep, skincare, mental health, in the areas of positivity, your social connections, and of course, how much you move your body and how much you're eating. So please know that...
See, she got a little better there, and then she said how much you're eating and how much you move your body. Again, not everyone can control those things.
Any movement trying to get you to shirk the responsibility that comes with having a body or become obsessed with your body are both flawed. Right, the 8th live of the...
She ruined that at the very end. I was on board with that. Love your body no matter how it looks and what you wear, and both of those things are toxic, I agree, but you ruin it when you say it's about being healthy. Not everyone has the option to be healthy. Whether it's me, unrelated to my weight, or someone with PCOS or something, like, it's... Not everyone can control that. It's not about self-discipline.
Society tells young women is that faith has no place in 2019.
Yes, it does not. I agree. This one's going to piss me off. Religion has no place in the world.
Likes to pretend like we don't need God.
You're right, we don't.
So smart, so developed, so progressed that we're beyond needing God. And the thing
we are, that's correct. Religion has no use in modern society.
I think about that is that it is foolish. Depression and anxiety levels have been rising for women in the last 40 years, and I do believe a lot of that existential dread comes from a lack of faith.
No, it doesn't. Religion has no place in the modern world. If you want to be religious, I'm not going to tell you not to be, but religion contributes absolutely nothing to modern society. Religion in the modern world is completely useless beyond controlling people.
In reality, we are a religion that preaches that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, who has forgiven us from our sins and has delivered us unto new life so that we can love others as Christ loved us, which is with a self-sacrificial.
Listen, don't get me wrong. Jesus was a great person. I have no qualms with Jesus, but the Bible is not a good source of morality. Poor girl. Yeah, I agree. I mean, she's obviously, as much as I hate her, she's obviously very indoctrinated and obviously very self-conscious. I mean, as much as I hate her, she obviously has issues because of her religion. And again, like, I'm not shaming people for being Christian, but her brand of Christianity is not a healthy one.
Love. We are the religion that preaches loving the poor and caring for those in need and to bless those who persecute us.
See, I agree. That is what, at least the New Testament, at least what Jesus promotes. But people, her specifically, and also people in her brand of Christianity don't support paying for things like welfare and healthcare. She says that that Jesus loved the poor, Jesus loved the ill, but then they say shit like this. Like, yeah, Jesus was a fucking socialist, okay? As much as I don't believe in the Bible, Jesus was obviously a real person because he was documented in non-biblical sources. People like this are conservatives and don't vote for free healthcare. People like this are conservatives and don't vote for welfare. People like this are conservatives and don't support the rich paying taxes and shit. And I'm like, if you're a real Christian, you would be like Jesus and support socialism. Because as much as I don't like the Bible, and the Bible has a large list of immortalities, it's like Jesus himself was a fucking socialist. I vaguely remember you. Sorry, hiccups. I vaguely remember you. Links looks from Jesus Christ, hiccups. Yes, that looks somewhat familiar.
I want to say too that I don't think we need to force people to have a Christian faith, but I don't think we need to hide from them the option of having faith. We should all.
Yeah, you don't need to hide your faith, but saying you don't need to hide the option of having faith is basically promoting proselytization.
Have the free will and opportunity to choose the ideologies and beliefs that we feel called to. We are not.
I agree, but you're advocating for it, which is not good.
So developed in 2019 that faith is obsolete. The ninth lie
It is obsolete.
society tells young women is that children will suck the life from you and destroy you. Now,
Financially, yes, but not necessarily entirely.
I don't have children, so I cannot speak from the perspective of a mother, but all I want to say to this is that babies do not stay babies forever, they grow up. People treat children and having children as if you are going to be changing diapers for the rest of your life, and that's just not true.
Not literally, but kind of until they're 18, in a metaphorical sense. Again, nothing wrong with having children, but
Children grow up into adults who will then be in your life. Yes, there are people that regret having children and hate having children, but that's not the only narrative. We need to also listen to the people who love having kids. That's truly what I believe. I don't think we need to censor or hide various arguments. It's selfish and wrong.
I agree, but the way she talks about this, not in this video specifically, at least so far, but the way people like her talk about having children makes it sound like a necessity. There's nothing wrong with having children. If you want to have children and you raise your children right, that's fine, but the way she talks about it is not okay. Not everyone wants kids. And she'll tack in those little, well, not everyone wants kids in there, and then go on about how everyone should have kids. This video is about a crazy evangelical, what quote-unquote lies they tell society about women, which essentially so far has been saying that women shouldn't have careers and that motherhood is somehow discriminated against when it's not.
To hate children for having needs and for needing care. Yes, children do take our energy, our time, and our affection and love, but you get so much out of that. You get a relationship with them. They are a person. They're not just going to stay a baby.
Well, yeah, of course, but that doesn't mean that everyone needs to have them. Especially earlier, she mentioned that having biological children is basically superior when it's not.
Forever. The 10th lie that society tells young women is that it's not a big deal to go into debt. The thing about college is that a lot of people go...
No one says that. that?
Experience. They go to meet people, they go to experience the parties, they don't know what else to do during that
Not many people do that.
time. But nowadays we have the internet, so you can get a degree online for often much cheaper. You can work a part-time job while getting an online degree. You can go to community college for 2 years, save money, and then finish your degree. You can just get a job right away, or take a couple gap years and work, and then go to university.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I did, but that doesn't mean that that's for everyone.
Use the internet to get a job in a different...
Oh, yeah, I mean, of course, Archie, I agree. No one says those things. She's just straw-manning people she doesn't agree with.
City and move. There are even volunteer programs or ministries that you can be involved in.
Shut up about the ministries.
After high school, while you're still trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. Colleges, universities, especially in the United States, are...
Doesn't vote for that shit, but she's saying, oh, well, it's just, they're charging so much, and I'm like, then fucking vote for people who will make free college like Bernie.
That also, unless you are extremely certain about your path, about what you want to do, and about the job waiting for you, I highly encourage you to not incur a ton of debt in an effort to go to university without a plan. Understand that there is options.
Okay, again, yes, not everyone needs to go to college, and it's completely fine. If you don't go to college or you get a trade degree or something, totally valid. No matter what you choose to do in regards to college is totally valid. But she should be supporting free college if she's saying things like that. Instead of saying, oh, well, don't incur debt, so don't go to college, how about you say, let's vote for free college. Let's vote for free education. Most first world countries have free or at least minimally charged college. Like, I am spending thousands of dollars to go to college, to go to medical school. How about instead of saying, well, it costs so much money, don't go to college, you say, let's vote for free college.
Alright, everybody, thank you so much for watching. And to all of our
okay, it's over.
Feminine sisters on the channel, I would love if you would leave a comment below sharing what you...
Okay, we're not going to do another Mrs. Midwest video. Here, this is a Ray Comfort video. If you know who Ray Comfort is, he is a famous evangelical street preacher. He actually has a movie. He's insane. He is extremely homophobic, he is terrible, and he likes to gish gallop. So, let's go with this. This video is called, He Didn't Care About God, ... but was in tears after hearing this. If you've seen any... So, Ray Comfort does this thing where he likes to go out on the street, record people as he gish gallops to them. I have not seen this video, so let's go. But this is concerning. Also, if you don't know what... Oh, wait, here.
Well, storytellers. The purpose of storytelling.
If you don't know what gish galloping is, it's a logical fallacy where essentially you basically spam people with multiple arguments in a conversation. You'll ask like 5 to 10 to more questions over and over again without waiting for a response, so that the person responding cannot possibly answer all of them before you interrupt them. So say he asks like, why don't you believe in God? Why do you believe in evolution? Why do you not think God is blah, 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 like 15 times really, really fast, talking really fast and saying all these things over and over again. I don't know if he does that in this video, but it's a very common thing for him to do. Watch furry ASMR. I don't really like ASMR unless I'm trying to fall asleep, and I don't really want to fall asleep, sorry. It's a very cute dog, though. He doesn't deserve that dog. But he's the king of street preaching and gish galloping.
Spiritual? Yes. What do you mean by that? The way I grew up, my heart was in my neighborhood, but my love, I've always been local love, I've always known that. But it's deceived me. I confuse the two. You can confuse the two, let's down.
Also, just for reference, Ray Comfort has a habit of cutting out what everyone is saying. In his movie, he interviewed people, and multiple of the people in the movie commented that he likes to crop his videos so that he cuts out multiple of their points. Just for reference.
Pick yourself up. You can't pick yourself up. Is that what you mean by spiritual? Self-improvement? Yeah. Talking about God. Self-improvement. That's what I believe in. I believe in all religions have a universal meaning. I believe in the power of the universe. I believe that we're all just human and we're all here.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't think any religion is true, but I do think they all have a general meaning.
Spread love, and that's all I gotta do.
I don't think all religions spread love, particularly Islam and Christianity do not spread love. They can, but the holy books themselves do not promote spreading love. I don't necessarily mean entirely Abrahamic religions, because I don't think Judaism falls under that, but Islam, Christianity, and their offshoots. Basically Abrahamic religions minus Judaism, because Judaism is pretty mild and centrist, just like as a religion. See, I like ASMR, but it just makes me fall asleep.
So, do you think God created everything?
Sorry, Lynx, my lives are semi-scripted, so I just like to stick to my topic until I run out of them. But my lives are pretty much planned for particular topics. So if you want to stay until after I get over with my script, I usually, semi-script, I usually stick to a script, and then once I finish it, I'll kind of just vibe and take requests and stuff. So if you want to stay until I finish my kind of planned live, then I'll take requests and I'll look up some stuff. But for now, I'm going to go with my script. But if you want to stay for maybe 30 minutes, I'll probably get to that. But yeah, if once I finish maybe this video and another video, I'll be going to just kind of requests and random stuff. But for now, I like to stick to my script until I finish it, if that's okay.
You think evolution created everything? You can never know. Ever. You may not be able to know. I know. You can know within. You did that, Mario? I know.
I already disagree with this guy because he said he doesn't know if he believes in evolution. I mean, no disrespect. Most people who don't believe in evolution are indoctrinated, so no disrespect to this guy. And of course, he's not a Christian.
Yeah. I say we can never know. It's limiting the knowledge. Do you ever think about how amazing life is? I mean, look at the blueness of the sky and the sun. You think about
the blueness of the sky is light refraction.
The sun, how incredible it is, how incredible it is. It's 93 million miles away, and it's just warm enough to right into us. Any closer, we're all dead. Further away, we're all dead.
There are billions of planets that are in, quote-unquote, the Goldilocks zone, and there are thousands of planets that we personally have discovered that are in the zone of Earth. So, from what we've discovered, there are thousands of planets called exoplanets that are in the, quote-unquote, the Goldilocks zone. Even planets in our own universe. Well, technically moons, but, so that's not really that special whenever there's other places in our universe that are susceptible to life.
Dead. You ever think about how amazing that is? I do. How did they get there? I had to learn it myself. I had to go within.
Gravity.
And nobody can teach it for you. You have to go within.
Oh yeah, Ray Comfort is fucking crazy. I mean, he's psychotic. Not psychotic as in, like, psychosis. Whenever I say psychotic, I have psychosis myself. So if I say psychotic, I don't mean, like, mentally ill, because, again, I am technically, by definition, psychotic from my diagnoses. But whenever I say psychotic, I mean, like, he's fucking crazy.
The lost secrets of the universe. If your world lies in love for yourself, that's it. Love yourself? I do. Love God? I love God. But in my mind, God is the entire universe. So I let him entire.
I don't disagree with that. I don't think God exists, but in a metaphorical sense, I'd say God is the universe. I don't believe in God, but in a metaphorical sense, I would say God is the nature of the universe.
It's called pantheism. Never explain the painter and the painting.
It's not pantheism, but I do think that it's sort of pantheism. He's close to pantheism. Pantheism is basically believing that the world around you is an equivalent to God, but then again, it's in a metaphorical sense, which he's, as far as I'm aware from this, it's not a metaphorical sense from what he's saying. But pantheism is basically believing that the world around you and the nature of the universe is God. And while I believe that in a metaphorical sense, I don't literally believe it.
You don't love the painting, you love the painter, because he's the genius that created the painting.
Not necessarily. Not everyone believes that.
So if you love creation, you're setting your affection on the creation rather than the creator, and that's called inordinate affection. It's the role of affection. If your mum gave you a gift and you love the gift more than you love your mother, there's something wrong. You should be saying, hey mum, thanks for this car. I'm grateful to you.
But that's a gift from someone you care about. That's different than if just a random stranger gave you an iPad on the street. You would love the object more than the person who gave it to you.
Grateful to you for the gift. See? I personally know who I am and why I'm here. I found my purpose from within.
Yeah, exactly. You find your purpose as your own individual.
I know that to be true. I've never lost that in my entire life. I've been the same person. You need love. You can't be a man without love. You have to separate yourself from love in order to find that for yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. That's the point. Trust.
I agree with that, though I don't agree with it from the same basis of spirituality. I do agree with that. You make your own purpose, and you make your own purpose based on something you care about other people. If your purpose is hurting people, it's not the right purpose. But I agree with him on a basic level. Your purpose is based on what you do right and what you feel your life is. And if your purpose is based on hurting people, it's not the right purpose. But I mean, my purpose, personally, as I see myself, is caring about the people I love, whether it's my rabbit, who just perked his ear when I said rabbit, Or it's my best friend who I've known for 13 years. My purpose is taking care of the people I love. Again, be it my rabbit or my best friend. My purpose is taking care of the people I love, and there's no divine meaning in that. It's I decided my purpose is making sure that the people I love are safe. There's no divine purpose in that. I make my own purpose, and though I don't agree with how he came to that purpose, be it spirituality, he's correct, even if his origin of that belief is wrong. You make your own purpose, and your purpose should be to take care of people. Whether it's through creating art that inspires people, whether it's creating music that inspires people, whether it's debating online, regardless of what your purpose is, as long as it helps people, or even if it doesn't help people, even if it's neutral. Whether your purpose is neutral or positive, as long as it's not negative, then it's your purpose.
Self? I do. Let me ask you a question. Spell the word shop. S-H-O-P. What do you do when you come to a green light? G-O. Good work. Spell the word silk. S-I-L-K. What do cows drink? M-I-L-K. Oh, they drink water.
They also drink milk. It depends on how old they are.
But trust yourself. Because we're easily deceived. The Bible says he who trusts his own heart is fool. A lot of people are dead.
The Bible is not any evidence for anything. Though there are parts of the Bible that are accurate, the only parts of the Bible that have been confirmed to be accurate are parts that are put in other cultures. People eat rabbits. I seen it. I know it makes me really sad. Though I know logically it's no different to eat a rabbit than a cow. As a vegetarian, I do think the way that they're treated before they die is what matters. A cow in a humane farm is allowed to roam a pasture. A rabbit in a humane farm is kept in an outdoor hutch. A rabbit in an outdoor hutch is not humane. So while I can support a humane eating of a cow because it's what the cow deserves, people who eat quote-unquote humane rabbits are not kept in humane conditions. People do not understand how rabbits are kept. If you keep your rabbit outside, it's not humane, period, unless it's completely supervised on a harness. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm just saying.
They make judgments. I can beat that truck and I can take this car and I couldn't. Wrong judgment. Let me ask you another question. You said your concept of God is that he is the universe. Do you think God is happy with you or angry at you?
It doesn't matter, because if a God is the universe, I think he's a deist, personally.
Depending on what you do, God will love you 40 away. That's what I believe. How you doing morally? You stay true to yourself, God will love you. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you know in your heart you're doing it for the right reason, love. You have nothing to worry about in this world whatsoever. It's called faith.
Though I disagree with the God part and the faith part, I do agree that if there is an all-loving God, that's how God would feel. I don't think there's a God, but Christianity does not support a God that acts that way. I think a proper, all-loving God would support you for doing what you think is best. And I do agree with that. Although I don't believe said God actually exists, I do agree that the God that Ray Comfort promotes would support that.
How you doing? Do you think you're a good person? Yes. How many lies have you told in your life? I've lost count. What do you call someone who's told lies? A liar. So you've blown that one.
Everyone lies. Whether or not he admits it, everyone lies.
You've stolen something, even if it's small. Yeah. You call someone who steals. A liar. Thief. If you deny that you lie, steal, cheat, and deceive, you become those things. And that's what you have to understand as human, is that you can't lose yourself in yourself, because that's...
You know, although I disagree with this guy on most faith points, I respect him. He seems to believe that faith and religion means that all power, like a higher power, believes in you and respects you no matter what you do, as long as it's in good faith. And though I disagree that a higher power exists to begin with, I do think that this is a good way to view a higher power. Yeah.
It's a sort of love. It's out there. You just gotta find it for yourself in order to truly know what it is. And I just want to push that to everybody. You were saying that you found yourself. What are mankind's origins? Where do we come from? When? Yeah, but that's...
Evolution.
I mean, originally. I don't mean from your mother. I mean, what's the origin of humanity? Authenticity and love. The origin. Where do we come from? What was in the beginning? Man and woman. Yeah, before man and woman. Who created man and woman? A higher power. Who was that?
I disagree, but I respect that he's treating it as someone loving. I disagree that it came from man and woman, but I do respect that he believes it comes from love.
God. Why do we exist as human beings? To love. And where are you going when you die? Whatever you did here, it depends. Now, third commandment, you shall not take God's name in vain. If you use God's name in vain, Would you use your mother's name as a password? Never.
The reason you would never use your mother, he asks that in so many of his videos. The reason you would never say that is because it holds no power. If I said, God Martha damn it, because my mom is named Martha, it wouldn't mean anything to anyone. They would be confused. The reason that you don't use your parents' name in vain is not because it's immoral. It's because it holds no value in, like, general conversation. I've seen pretty much every video he's asked. He has said, would you say your mother's name in vain? Whenever he asks, would you say God's name in vain? And people don't generally know how to respond to that. Either they don't know how to respond or he cuts it out. But the reason I would never say my mother's name is in vain isn't because I think it's disrespectful. It's because it holds no value in a conversation. It does not express what I mean to express, because people don't know my mother's name inherently.
You honor her, but you haven't loved and honored God. You used his name as a billboard to express disgust, which is called blasphemy. So serious, it's punishable by death in the Old Testament. Appreciate your
Yeah, and that's fucking stupid.
honesty. And your patience with me. Now, Jesus said, if you look at a woman and lust for her, you commit adultery with her in your heart. Have you ever looked at a woman with lust? Yes, I'm a man. Had sex before marriage?
Everyone who's attracted to women has done that.
Yes, I'm a man. So, Larry, I'm not judging you. You judge yourself. You told me you're a lying, thieving, blasphemous, fornicating adulterer at heart, and you have to...
Everyone does that. Whether or not you admit it, Ray Comfort, everyone looks at the gender they're attracted to with lust. They don't have to stare at their tits and creep them out, but you can look at someone and think they're attractive, and it's not wrong as long as you don't harass them or stare at them.
Face God on Judgment Day. He judges you by the 10 Commandments, but look before, you're going to be innocent or guilty. Heaven or hell? Hell. Does that concern you?
That's actually not super accurate to the Bible, but go off.
Deep down, yeah. It horrifies me. Look just me. I love you. I care about you. But the thought of you going to hell just...
You just met him. It's wrong to say that you love and care about someone that you don't know whenever you should be loving and caring about people in your life. Sure, you should care about people that you don't know. You should care about the homeless. You should care about the poor. But saying that you care about someone that you just met as much as someone who's been there your whole life is wrong.
Breaks my heart. Do you know what death is?
No, it doesn't. You're just a proselytizer.
Please. In the Bible? Enlightenment. Well, no, it's wages. See, the wages of sin is death. God's giving you death as wages for your sin. He's paying you in death. He's giving you capital punishment like a judge.
God doesn't exist, so there's no fucking proof. As a lesbian, I agree. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, you love who you love, and, like, whether you romantically love someone of the opposite gender, of a gender that's neutral, whatever, like... You love who you love, and you can't control that. Like, whether you're gay, lesbian, bi, whatever, you love who you love, and whether you love them romantically, like a partner, or you love them like family, like a mother or a sibling, it doesn't matter. You love who you love, and though you should love and respect people that you don't know, for example, I always, every single time, I have voted for Bernie, and then I voted for Biden whenever Bernie dropped out of the race, but, like, you should love and respect people you don't know, true. But, like, you shouldn't treat that love and respect the same way that you do someone personally in your life. And that being said, those people deserve the same rights. But you should, for example, a partner, you should, if you're comfortable with it, kiss your partner. You should hug your partner. You should comfort your partner when they're sad. But a random person that you vote for, you should vote for them to have real rights. You should vote to eliminate homeless people architecture. You should vote to allow homeless people to have, like, rights. You should vote for homeless people to get free health care. But voting for someone to have the rights that you have, giving a homeless man on the street your food, etc., is different than loving someone that you would die for. And, like, for example, a good example. So I got sushi the other day, right? And they gave me the wrong sushi. And there was a homeless guy sitting right outside the sushi bar. So I gave him the sushi and I said, hey, are you allergic to seafood? Because this has seafood in it. And he said no. And I gave it to him. And that was something that I think that man deserved way more than just me giving him a box of sushi. And I respect him, and I hope he's sitting out there again next time I get sushi so I can give him some, even if it's not the wrong sushi. But me giving the guy the sushi who didn't have food on the side of the street is different than loving my brother who I let vent to me and who I let sit in my room and cry when he's having a bad trip. Like, that's different than my brother who's addicted to acid and comes in my room and cries when he's having a bad trip, is different than when I give a homeless guy the sushi that I was ordered wrong. Like, and don't get me wrong, you should support those people. You should give them love, and you should give them respect, and you should give them the access that you have and they don't. But it's different to let my brother come sit in my room and vent when he's on a bad trip than it is to give a homeless guy the sushi that was giving me the wrong sushi. Like, you should respect people, but there's a difference between respecting people that you think deserve rights than respecting people that have given you personal comfort and that comfort you as a person and that, like, deserve to have your love. Not that those people don't, but I mean, like, a random stranger. Not like if you have a friend who's homeless or whatever, but I mean, like, a random stranger should have a different kind of love for you than a person who's helped you through your life.
The heinous criminals rape 3-year-olds and then murder them. This is your bearing the death sentence. This is your wages. This is what's due to you. And sin is so serious to God.
Wait, I'm gonna call my brother because he's been asking me to buy him vape juice.
Now tell me, what did God do?
I'm not pausing the video, but I may be talking. Or I'm gonna pause the video because I won't be able to hear it, I now realized. Sorry, I'm calling my brother. He's been asking me to buy him vape juice all day. And I was asleep. Okay, I was using Snap, but I'm just going to use regular phone. Because he's been asking me to buy him vape juice all day, and I'm just going to ask him if he can drive me to the store. Because now I'm realizing I feel bad because he thinks I ghosted him. But really, I didn't ghost him. I was just asleep. Alright, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to go to the other room because he doesn't like being on lives. Let me put my little live pausey thing on. There we go. Okay. Okay, he didn't answer my calls. I think he's asleep even though it's a Saturday. I don't know if anyone's still here. But I am back. May or may not just come up to my room, we'll see. But yeah. Alexa, skip. Okay, but yeah, I'm back.
Came up with the idea that, depending on what you do here,
Actually, I may end the live because I got really exhausted after sitting in the other room. So I'm probably gonna go. I may or may not be back tonight. We'll see. I'm gonna head out just because after sitting down on the floor and not talking, I got really tired. So I'm gonna go. But you guys have a good night. I may or may not be back.